Legendary here, and today we've got a Rate Your Doomstack video. Playing as Araness Assault Spite, we're going up against the combined force of World Walkers and Clan Moors. Weird to see them actually allied and actually fighting next to each other. They don't start anywhere near each other normally. And we have got a very strange army. I never thought anyone would send this in, but we have a Gunnery wight spam army. So, Gunnery wights, here's the thing about them. They're good heroes, but getting capacity for them is actually really difficult. There's only two ways to do it. There is a building in the shipbuilding stuff, so for the 5 lords that you can get that get the shipbuilding in any of your Vampire Coast campaign, that being your legendary lord and the 4 ones that you can get through the tech tree, each of them can increase your Gunnery wight capacity by 1. And then if you want to increase it any further, you have to build a pirate cove. You can't increase the capacity of these heroes based on the just any like tier 5 province. You can with vampire captains through the port buildings if it's a tier 5 port building, but not with the Gunnery wights. So in order to do this, he had to build a lot of pirate coves. So hats off to him for doing that. Now on top of that, he's also kind of memeing on me because he's put all of them on a rotting promethean. Now I have previously said, and I stand by this, that rotting prometheans are possibly the worst mount in the game. They have all of the weaknesses of being a large unit with none of the strengths. So they're large, which means all of the anti-large units in the game basically eat them up really quickly. They're a big target for guns and missile units. They're super slow, so they can't outrun cavalry or any other kind of just anything that has a speed of like 50 or more will catch up to them really easily, just bog them down and kill them straight away. They don't have high hit points. They got high melee defense, but because they're large, lots of entities attack them at the same time, so there's just so many weaknesses to a rotting promethean. Now, when I play my Vampire Coast campaigns, I don't put my heroes on rotting prometheans. I actually prefer to put them on foot, because even if they do get caught, which they're going to get caught anyway on a rotting promethean, but if they get caught, at least they are small, which makes them hard to shoot and hard to hit. They're actually a lot tankier on foot. Anyway, let's see how this goes. We got a bunch of banners which aren't really going to do anything, but just slide them down, and we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, in terms of like practicality of doing this, obviously this is not recommended, not practical at all, because just the sheer amount of effort needs to go into building it, I don't think is worth it, because it's not like the Vampire Coast can't build good armies. They can. And it's not like the Gunnery wight is better than a Necrofex Colossus in terms of its shooting power. It's not. Don't get me wrong, Gunnery wights are good, and they're good at boosting the Necrofex Colossus, but we don't have any Necrofexes here, so let's see how we go. Excuse me, see how we go. Alright, how are we going to do this? Alright, we're going to the battle and it's like the odds aren't anywhere near what it said it was in the auto resolver. But sometimes when you've got like a bunch of tier 40 heroes, which I think they're all maxed out, the auto resolver is super generous. But then you hit auto resolve, which I didn't test it out. You hit auto resolve and like 3 of your heroes die. So it just depends. I'm just trying to decide how we're going to go about this because we're getting flanked here. Why don't we just put them to the test? And like, as the skaven come in here, we just shoot them. And just see how that goes. Problem is this obstruction here. Be a little bit of a problem. And Norska will obviously come from behind us, so maybe I'll like summon some shit to just keep them busy. We've got Wind of Death, but we'll see. I also don't usually like to keep them that spread out, so tighten it up a little bit. But yeah, as they come in, we'll just shoot the crap out of them and just, we'll see, because we've got a lot of missile damage, we'll just see how it goes. Okay, and over here, let's summon you to just keep them at bay. Just buy ourselves a little bit of time. What the fuck? What battle difficulty is this on? Okay, it's on very hard battle difficulty. I don't know how long that's gonna buy. for us. Okay. But they're routing without taking much damage.
Retreat! Surrender!
They're coming in with like no Oh, I see what you've done here. Okay, so the fact that we've got Gunnery wights and rotting prometheans doesn't mean shit. It's the trait. He's got dread incarnate. Yeah, he's got dread incarnate. That's what's going on here. Alright, the skaven are all gone now. Holy crap, yeah. So, we've seen this sort of thing before with the lizardmen and with beastmen. Beastmen kind of do it best. But yeah, he's gone with... Yeah, look, they've got like no leadership. It's just, it's dread incarnate. Okay. Right, well, I'll need to assess that. Because, yeah, vampire accounts can do it as well. It's a vampire account specific trait. Okay, and then we pop this down right on them. Just to get them to insta-route. Yep. I do enjoy a stinky army. This is a very stinky, crabby army, though. So Mammoth did some damage to us, but nothing we can't heal. Right. Well, okay. Okay. Yeah, so this doomstack, it has nothing to do with rotting prometheans. Yeah, they'd actually be on foot, it would be just as good. Because, like, speed of 49, that's shit speed for a large unit. Yeah, because if they're on foot, they'll still be able to shoot just as well. And... Alright, send that there. Gotta think about it a little bit. I didn't expect anybody to ever send in an army like this. Although I've been constantly surprised by the Rate My Doomstack videos. It's been great. You guys have sent in some really interesting stuff so far. And this one here is definitely a mind-boggler. Because first thing you gotta think is, like, why would you bother? Because, like, let's just say hypothetically we got a Necrophect spam. It could have handled this. The only thing it would have had trouble with is if the Mammoths got close, right? And didn't even need Dread Incarnate, right? But another thing is that by getting this many Gunnery wights, you're depriving other armies of Gunnery wights as well. Obviously, he's got an excessive amount of them.
I am not reading this lot.
But yeah, it's very strong. It's very strong. But this is the thing. I'm conflicted between it being super strong and just the most inconvenient shit in order to actually get it in the first place. It's like the amount of effort that you need to do it doesn't really make it worth it in the long run. Because yes, it is good. That was really good. But as the Vampire Coast, you got other tools at your disposal, and it would be way more convenient to do it. So let's have a quick look at this. Yeah, they're all Dread Incarnate. Yeah, so what that does, enemy leadership -4 local enemy armies. Right, so we've now been sent in 3 of these minus leadership armies. The first one we got sent in was the stinky Beastman one, then it was the pompous Lizardman one, and now the Dread Incarnate Vampire Coast one. Now, of the 3, I'm going to basically compare those 3, because they're more or less doing the same sort of thing. The best one is the Lizardman army, but it's not the best in terms of actual fear-inducing. The best at doing that was the Beastman one, because the Beastman one is -5 leadership, plus they get followers that can reduce leadership further, plus they have the Law of Death, which these guys do as well, but they also have the Law of Wilds, which can move it even further. Also, the Beastman army is way faster than this. All of the heroes on chariots, or the Gorbles, can outpace these guys massively, giving you more time to just keep routing them and keep casting those spells. Mobility is really important with this kind of army, right? So, Beastman gets like the top marks for fear-inducing, but in terms of like combat potential, the Lizardman army is basically the strongest army in the game to go up against. So even if it didn't have the fear-inducing, the pompous trait, just beating it outright would be next to impossible anyway. And then this one over here, I'd say its combat potential is actually the weakest of the three. Because if this didn't have Dread Incarnate, it does a lot of damage, but as soon as the enemy have caught up, which they definitely would have if it wasn't for Dread Incarnate, they would have just instant died. The Vampire Coast heroes are extremely squishy. Well, these ones here at least, not so much the Morgul Hunter. And of the fear-inducing, I'd probably put this one as number 2. So basically, in terms of its ranking, it's number 2 for fear-inducing, because at least it's got death magic, but it's the weakest in terms of actual combat prowess. If it goes up against something like... It's rare to go up against this, but go up against a lot of unbreakable units, that's where I think these guys would really struggle. And even so, we didn't actually get all of their leadership down to complete 0. So if you go up against something like dwarfs, they'll probably have 30 to 40 leadership going into the battle. Luckily in your campaign, it seems like the dwarves are pretty much gone. No, they're still out there. But if they get to you, like a unit of slayers, will rip you to shreds. No doubt about it. And you're not going to be able to outrun them very well with rotting prometheans, because yeah, slayers can outrun them. So, okay, time to give it a rating. I think I've rambled off enough, but there's a lot of things to process here, because I just never expected anyone would actually build this. In terms of its abilities and stuff, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10, but when we take everything into consideration, I'm only going to give it a 6 out of 10, because it loses so many points to just being just so impractical. And it's just not the best at doing it anyway, and it's just not the MO of the Vampire Coast. Like, if you're going to go super strong Doomstack with Vampire Coast, I really recommend either going Necrofex Colossus is like the go-to thing. You can get it early, it's not expensive, you can get so many of them, and they're super strong on all unit scales in pretty much all battles. It's almost a top 5 Doomstack in the game. But if you don't want to do that, you can still go, Rotting Leviathan, another really strong army. You got these 2 really good choices that are quite viable all throughout the campaign, and you've gone with something that would just quite frankly be a ball ache to build. So I'm going to give it overall a 6 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for, like strength, but like a 2 out of 10, or a 4 out of 10 for, like, actually building it. It's just not that good. Anyway, that's the end of this one here. Appreciate you guys. Now, just need to let you guys know that there isn't going to be a live stream tonight. But there might be one on Friday. It just depends. I've just got some stuff going on with my schedule, and I'm just not going to be available to live stream tonight. But maybe Friday. It just depends on how things are going. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about this one here, because I'm really curious about your thoughts on this one, because this one here really confused me quite a bit. But I do appreciate the guy sending this in. It's a lot of effort, especially if he built this specifically just to make me make a video on it. I do appreciate that, because allows me to make content. So I appreciate sending it in. Very interesting. Wouldn't build it in any of my campaigns, but it was interesting to watch it in action. End of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.